Recording is on.
Okay, that time I heard it too, so I'm assuming you heard it. It is the 12th of March, 2023. This is WIKISPEED Standup. Go ahead, Lauren.
Okay, this is Lawrence Salter, Gabriel Island, British Columbia, Canada. And the past week, just a little bit of Trello. Um, and I just figuring out how to delete things in Trello. Uh, and I found some cards that I put in that we don't need anymore. But I'll be careful and kind of make it clear what I'm doing. I won't just charge ahead. And Coming week, it's pretty much similar. Actually, I'm going to push ahead with Trello and really start using that and looking at that before I do things. Uh, and Blocks are actually getting nicer here, and so I'm getting out and seeing people and having time, spending time. There's a nice cafe with an outdoor patio here. It's cold, but I run into everybody there. It's really cool. So I just need to focus. Actually, they have fabulous internet at this place, which is called Ground Up Cafe, and so I could work there. I could do stuff, useful work there because my phone and tablet are much faster there than at home.
Hmm,
So they must have a really fast connection and a good Wi-Fi.
excellent.
Uh, yeah, yeah. And that's it for me.
Okay,
Oh, one more thing.
sure.
I did I posted the last week's video.
Oh, last stand up. Okay, so for me, two areas that I made progress was the makerspace and the knitting machine. So the makerspace, I went over there on Wednesday, and I printed out my version 7 gear, which is just in clear PLA, and I got it tested, and it still skips. So the gear teeth, you probably won't be able to see that. The gear teeth aren't as tall as they need to be. They don't
And
mesh with the
hold it
gear,
higher. The camera's up higher than you're holding.
so the teeth aren't as tall as they should be.
Ah,
This is the original gear, so it's tough to tell, but these teeth are taller and they mesh
I
better.
I can see that.
So I went out and printed another orange one. Well, okay, back up. I looked for another library for the gears, and it looks like about 7 years ago, a German guy went through all the math to figure out how the gears went together and all the various offsets and the calculations. And of course, his library was in German, and every other library that I can find for OpenSCAD for gears is a fork of his gear library.
Oh,
And as far as I can see, you're not able to change the height of the teeth. So I spent a couple hours doing that, and then I dug into the code and I said, well, how hard can it be? Well, it's confusing, but it's not hard. So I found the one number that I had to change in order to adjust the height of the teeth, and it turns out that the teeth were actually already taller. It's just that the bottom of the gear, the circle, covered part of it up. So I made the inner part of the circle smaller so that more of the teeth showed, basically. So I got that printed out, which ended up being version 8. It was in orange, and I got it back here. I took the machine apart. I was testing, and handle the handle just slides together like this. Well, it's a lot snugger on my gear, and when I was trying to pull it off, I guess I cranked on it a bit and I broke it. So that was the end of my testing. So I found inside the slicer software a setting where you can set the wall thickness on the gear, or it was actually it broke right here, uh, right under this edge. So this part isn't thick enough. So I'm just going to make it 3 millimeters thick instead of 2 millimeters thick, and try it again. And I printed out my bungee cord holders for the blinds at the lake. This is the original one, which is much smaller. So I will probably draw that up and try that this week. Um, Besides that, I was taking videos and editing and trying to explain what I was doing and why I was doing it. And yeah, it took a long time. Anyway, um, for next week, and I did get some stuff put into Trello about 20 minutes ago. So it wasn't before I got the tasks done, but I did get them in there. Um, Actually, I have some crosstalk on that, about how to do recurring tasks. Anyway, for next week, I am still looking to reload the Sunfounder Ross. Want to do some work on the tank level and continue on the makerspace and the knitting machine. Anyway, back to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna give myself a 5, team in 9, and process improvement, the Trello, which we're doing, more Trello,
Okay, so it's got
and
to be at least. Sorry.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it for me. And yeah, we'll we'll do crosstalk after.
So I got 11 points done, and I plan to do 6, so I kind of got to give myself 10 out of 10. I'm going to go with 8 for the team, and the process improvement is still updating Trello so that if new members join, we have somewhere to point them. So that wraps us up. So I am going to share my screen and try and figure out which window I'm wanting to show. Should say Trello, should it not?
Uh,
There we go. You can see this?
yeah, yeah, I have it up in another window as well.
Okay, so printing out the new gear, testing the new gear, taking video, editing video, and CAD changes to get to the new, or to the gear to get a new version are going to be pretty much every week. So
Oh
do you
yeah,
create new ones, or do you edit do you go into here and then you just add more description, or how do we do that?
I there may be a way to do it, an official way to do it, but my tendency would just be to put a date in the title.
So kind of like a log, you put a date, or you update the date. Like, am I
Yeah,
making new cards every week, or am I just going in here and adding a couple more lines on what I did?
yeah. I'm thinking just edit it
Okay,
freely, and in the title, if it lets you, then
yeah,
put
you can.
a date.
Okay, so that's what I'll do,
Yeah,
because
and
it.
say recurring week
Yeah,
such and such. Yeah, yeah.
okay, I can do that. So
I mean that's there's probably some. I don't know if there is a thing. I think because it's kind of all about getting finishing things. So I don't know. I don't know if it's
yeah,
there's an official way to do it, but I think that works fine.
mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, that was all I had for crosstalk. Do you have anything you want to?
I'm just impressed to how you're moving along with
Well,
with the 3D printing and like kind of it's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised that you can specify the size of the gear. You can do this angle and that, how many teeth and a pressure angle and all this other stuff, but you can't tell it how tall the teeth are. That seems kind of important. So I guess um, with this library, you can print out both this side and I'll just show you the other one. I do have it completely apart. So here is the, no, that doesn't. Here is the gear where
Oh
all
wow!
the needles fit.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So this is how it's supposed to engage. So
Yeah.
normally in this library, you print out both gears, right? This one
Oh
and
yeah.
this
Okay.
one would both
So
be
then,
printed out and both be calculated
yeah.
from the library. So I guess they would fit perfectly. It's just when you're trying to make it fit something existing that you have to mess with the teeth or something.
Okay. So I have a question. I
Sure.
thought you could just scan things in and then reproduce them.
Well, when you scan them in, it comes in as a, like if you went on your CAD package and you moved around and you clicked a dot and you like made a really, really tiny circle. And then you moved over a millimeter and you made another really, really tiny circle.
Right.
You get a point cloud. So it's all of these dots. And then you run it through some other software to try and connect the dots.
Right. Right.
And I haven't been successful in doing that. Um,
Right.
maybe it's easy. It didn't seem easy. Um, and the scanners are there's some of them that want you to take like a couple dozen pictures. Like you basically take the piece and then
Right.
you turn it a few degrees and you keep taking pictures and then upload all the pictures and it kind of makes it for you.
Right.
But well,
So
I
like ten
haven't
years
found
ago,
anything that works.
nearly 10 years ago, when there was still a maker fair in Vancouver, there was people with who had things software with Connect, and they were demonstrating Connect. You know, Microsoft. Is it um, is that PS2 or something? Anyway, the Connect thing is a kind of a radar kind of a thing in it, and so people were
Well,
scanning in.
this is pretty fiddly little detail. I don't know.
Yeah,
Unless it was lidar, I'm not sure if it would get
yeah.
the detail right.
I think that's the next step, though, is to
Like
just
I've seen ones that use high definition pictures,
yeah.
but I don't know how you figure out what the scale is. Like it could be 3 feet wide, it could be 3 millimeters wide. How do you tell?
I think you need something like lidar.
Yeah. Anyway, I haven't found anything that you can just kind of point at it and do a photocopy.
Right,
That would
right.
sort of be nice, but I haven't
Yeah,
found one yet. So,
yeah. It's probably happening now.
and maybe I'm just not looking in the right place.
So
It's
then
really
I was
hard to kind
interested.
of keep track of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I was interested in you're talking about the giant like the size of a piece of 4x8 or
Hmm.
whatever 4x4 scans or not scans 3D printer that you were
The,
talking about
the CNC machine,
last
yep.
week.
The router.
No, no, you were talking about I thought of a 3D printer that was really big.
Uh, well, the one that I was looking at buying and trying to figure out where I could put it was
Yeah.
actually the instead of additive manufacturing, it's subtractive. So you put a sheet of plywood on there, and then it carves it up for you.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it is a CNC. Anyway,
Yep.
I wondered if you saw the 3D printed rocket not take off. This
No. Whose was that?
I'd have to look it up. So
Oh, should be
it's
pretty
pretty
easy to
big.
find.
It's like 3 meters or something wide, I
Okay.
think. it's a good sized one. So and it's 90% 3D printed.
Wow.
Yeah. And they use one of the metal powder melting things,
Yep.
and it got to within 70 seconds of taking off, and then they got a there was a one of the things, the pressure on one of the tanks or something was off, so they scrubbed it.
Oh,
And
okay.
but it was their first attempt ever to
Oh,
launch, and I think it's an orbital launch attempt.
orbital.
I think so.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, normally they do suborbital and stuff like that, but
Well, if it's only
I'd have to check. But
yeah, if it's only 10 meters tall, I'll have to go find it because
so, and they were talking about it. No, it's big. It's not 10 meters. It's like 100 feet high or something like that. And
wow.
it's yeah. But the commentator was saying they just decided to go for their test to go for a launch. Maybe I don't know what their philosophy is, but uh, and he said if it blows up, they're still way ahead. They're getting all their data,
Hmm.
but and he said it would be like miraculous if they would be really really happy if it got into orbit, but it had no
First try. Oh
payload.
yeah,
It had no payload.
they would. If it made it first try, they'd all go out and buy lottery tickets
That's right.
just in case.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think, and I'm trying to remember the name of the company. You know, they got such crazy names, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'll
I
look it up. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. Um, let's see, and nothing else except somebody's coming about my water filter,
Hmm.
and so um, they're coming. It was supposed to come last week, and they're coming this week. So uh, I I'm gonna just try and make progress on the level sensor, and try and
Okay.
make a few of them, and that's what I'm focused on.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Hold it.
So
I got to stop recording.